Morning, this is Gracie Opulenta and I'm all about eccentric and opulent lifestyle. You can find out a lot more about me on gracieopulenta.com. I grew up with wood and I grew up with fire, lived in rural Australia, and my father cut timber for the Australian Railway. They were called sleepers and they were put on the railway tracks for the derailing instability of the Australian trains. But that's all changed now. It's all concrete and metal. Now I grew up with wood, chainsaws, massive trees cutting. We were in the timber industry in Orboth, Gippsland, and it was massive until it wasn't. But so I grew up with always timber in my hand, and it was done for fire to keep us warm and fire to cook Italian cuisines. Now I'm here in Tuscany, a lot of memories coming through because I didn't have, this was not my upbringing regarding fire and wood. I've never had to buy wood in my life until I came to Italy, and we'd always have to, my father would cut the wood and we'd have to stack tons and tons of firewood for the next season so that the wood was dry. We always grew up with 2 open fires, and I'm here in Umbria and I'm house hunting. My ceilings never looked like this. So just giving you a comparison. Now, why am I burning when last week it was 29 degrees and this morning I've woken up to 4 degrees here in Umbria, and which is cooler than, let's say, Rome, which is cold. Even the south in Puglia, where my parents are from, it's cold. Let me talk to you about the power of fire and wood and your prompting. So I'm a Christian. So I'm here property hunting for Italy, and I've been on and off for 4 years, dithering and dathering, and so the last 2 years I've been looking in the area of Lucca and Tuscany and surroundings, and it's really saturated by tourists. It's pricey because international people have bought and in Tuscany for many years, but very much after the pandemic, people have really bought. I mean, I was in Lucca, in Italy, could have bought during the pandemic, but everything has its timing. Now back to the fire. And recently, very good friends said to me, never bury your gold, never bury your creativity, never bury the very thing that defines you. So let me give you an example of that and why I'm burning. I'm burning also because I'm cold. These Tuscan homes, don't be fooled. Tuscan homes are absolutely freezing in the winter, and this has got double glazing, but it's still nowhere keeping things warm. I've lived in villas, single glazing, wind coming through, and I have spent thousands and thousands of euro on wood and heating and still freezing in the winter. Could only ever get it one room at 18 degrees. This is a bit more gracious, I have to say, because of the double glazing, but you know, all the heat's just going through there. And fires are gorgeous for wellness, but that heat's just going out. Do like the metal. I'm seeing this more and more. It does get the heat off. And it's just beautiful, and I love the sound of fire and the wood burning. It's what defines me. It's what I grew up with. It was my parents' income. It's what fed me. Fire and wood fed me. If it wasn't for the wood and the fire, there were moments in my upbringing, thanks to the skill of my Italian parents of the garden, of the wood and of the beef cattle in rural Australia, and the focaccia and the cheese making and the prosciutto making, we would have starved. So, during the pandemic, and very much now, people are saying buy land, learn that skill, learn the skill of gardening, learn the skill of cutting firewood, learn the skill of a chainsaw. A chainsaw is so powerful. Or team up with people that know that skill. So as I said, fire and wood is in my bones. I grew up with it. It fed me. It kept me warm. And I loved just sitting and sleeping next to fire, which I did yesterday. So why am I burning apart from the wellness side and just killing the chill in this room? Now, I've got central heating. Did you know that Italy is the most expensive in Europe for gas and electricity? Do you know that? Not many people know that. You will pay an arm and a leg and a foot, which I can afford. I'm not boasting, but I'm like, I'm economically and more therapeutically better to just have fire and wood. Now back to, again, rural Australia. My father was a timber cutter, cutting sleepers for the railway train of Australia, so trains wouldn't derail, and the stability of the tracks. That's what we grew up with. I remember hearing that chainsaw, cutting those trees. I love the sound of falling trees. And then we would, as kids, have to just stack tons and tons of firewood near our home, farm home, town home, just to keep warm, And we didn't have central heating to this day. My mum doesn't have central heating in the house. It's much more insulated. Just has the, but we use the fire to keep warm, and also the, like a electric air conditioning that goes hot and cold. But so back to the fire. Why is fire and wood important to me spiritually? Well, it's survival. It kept me warm, it kept me sane, kept me through those moments as a teenager where I was feeling low. The sound of the crackling of the fire is why on YouTube this guy gets millions and millions of views. Now the reason I'm burning, and I've just said, never bury your gold, never bury your talent, never bury your creativity, because you will die a slow death. Now what do I mean by that? I'll tell you a recent story, and then I'll go to my story. Never bury your gold, never bury your talent, and never bury your dreams. It's never too late. I'm here in Tuscany, up in Umbria, looking for that La Dolce Vita, which is so overused and abused. And Tuscany is a great example of that. I'm going to write it. You can put in Tuscany in my blog, put Italy, made in Italy. You'll see so many stories about my journey of Italy in the last 4 years. Now, I'm looking for a long-term rental, and that's very challenging in Italy, very, very challenging, because long-term rental, just coming into the peak season of summer, all the Italians need as much money as they can for their villas, for their swimming pools, etc. So I've come at the wrong side of the year to property hunt once again. I keep doing it. I should really start hunting at around September, October, or in the deep, deep winter. But here I am, left Thailand. It's so hot, and everything has its timing, and I believe I'm in the right timing. And my journey is a script, slow process. And you look on the agents, you look in the internet, it's not there. So I'm now literally bar to bar speaking to the locals, because that's how I bought my other properties in Thailand, just organically meeting people. And I believe that that's my journey, and I And for whatever reason, everything is about timing. So it's stressing, it's anxious. I don't want to live in an uncomfortable Italian home. I've done it. It's horrible. I don't want to be freezing like I was in rural Australia. I don't need to suffer like that. So that's why it's taking it that extra time. Why am I burning wood and fire? For a spiritual reason. I'm going to tell you why. Never bury your gold. Never bury your dreams. Never bury your talents. Because you will die a slow death. And I have met many, many people that are dying a slow death. And the question I want to ask you first, if you had 6 months to live, and trust me, I know people that have had even 2 weeks, what would you do? You'd speed everything up, wouldn't you? You'd do the very things that you know you could do. And I've been very blessed. I'm a world traveller. I've been travelling all my life, experiencing amazing food all around the world, amazing culture. But let me tell you, someone that has been travelling for over 30 years, the world is the same. When you bury your dreams, when you bury your gold, when you bury your talent, you will die a slow death. It's called also anxiety and depression. And one of our flaws in today's world is the lack of touch. When it comes to our hands, we're just touching the phone, aren't we, all the time? Especially my teenager girls have to really struggle for them to, I get my daughter and she loves to smell the rosemary, touch the rosemary, touch the very hands of the basil, the potatoes, of the apples, of the people that grew it for you, not just in Sainsbury's, Waitrose, let alone Essalunga or Connacht. Now, why am I burning? Apart from warmth, and it's spiritual, I'm going to tell you why I'm burning. So, in last week I was told a story. During the pandemic, we all did what we had to do. So for me, I sold everything. I wanted to leave Undaughter anyway. I sold everything, and I've put my stuff in storage in June 2020, and it's still in storage. All my clothes, all my jewellery, all my shoes. That's what defines me. That is, as a little girl, I loved playing dress-ups, looking at fashion magazines, looking at beautiful people dressing up. Fashion, jewellery and shoes is how God created me. There's no denying about it. It is my creative shedding. What's defined me. How many handbags do you need? My husband asks. How many more shoes do you need? And I do use a Vestiaire platform to sell things that don't belong to me anymore. Now, let me go to the story first. So, in June 2020, my stuff has been sitting in storage for, my goodness, almost 4 years. I have buried the very thing that defines me by putting it in storage. Now, because of COVID, because of going to Thailand and buying there and living there, but I have buried the very thing that defines me, the very thing that I need to play with my hands, the very thing that is my creative shedding. And I know many, many years ago, God told me to give everything away in my wardrobe because I was wrongly addicted to it. There's a difference there. If you're obsessed with something and you can't give it away, then you're in trouble. But this is different. So my stuff's been in storage for 4 years for the simple reason I cannot find my Italian home. But the biggest mistake I've done, and I'll tell people, and I did get some of it out, is that because I did have a long-term rental, I should have just brought it along in the long-term rental. I had a big villa for 8 months, could have done it easy. Easy, easy, easy. But that's the lesson learned. Do never bury your gold. Do never bury your dreams. Do never bury your talents. Now, last week, a woman told me that during the pandemic, she loves gold. All her gold, she buried it literally. And then went away for 2 years. And a wise old lady said, you never bury your gold. Don't do that. Her jewelry is what makes her. Her jewelry gives her joy. Her jewelry defines her. And what did she do? She buried it. And when you bury stuff like me, putting it in storage, you lock it away. When you bury your gold, or when you put things in storage for a long time, you lock it away. Don't do that. If you've got storage for a very long time, ask the question, do I need it? Do I value it? Do you define me? If not, get rid of it, sell it. My stuff is completely different. I've got beautiful vintage. I'm a real vintage. I've Cartier, Yves Saint Laurent, Gucci, Chanel, real rare pieces. Because for me, vintage fashion is always been my thing. I hate, I dare I say it, the fashion of today. It's just, a lot of it is not using your hands anymore. But that's why I'm in Italy. Have a look at my blog, Made in Italy. Put in my blog, Made in Italy, and you'll see the artisans that I work with. Do not bury your gold. Do not bury your talent. Do not bury your stuff in storage. It will paralyze your future, your dreams, your journey. Now, the reason I'm burning is I'm burning that history of my Italian property hunting. What is in the past is no longer defines my present and my future of property hunting. My property is here, and God will present it to me in His timing. So I am burning all the past negativities, all the past disappointments, the bureaucracy, the horrible comments of people that I've met along the journey, the people that have tried to rip me off here in Italy. The world is different, trust me. People will rip you off anywhere. I thank God for my wise travelling experience of really being present and knowing when people are trying to rip me off. I am burning everything that defined my Italian journey, and we're moving forward. And I can tell you one thing, I haven't found that property. I have found one I love in regards to long-term rental. I don't want to rush to buy in Italy. Listen, my friends, I have met a lot of people that have rushed and bought and regretted it. I will know that property. So in the meantime, I'm short-term renting here, and I'll keep going. And I'm doing it very differently. I've never asked so many people if there's a long-term rental available. Give them my number. Give me a call. Why is my journey much more like walking in sand or up a hill? I don't know. That's between the God I serve and me. So all the history of the past of Italy is all going up in flames. Bye-bye. Thank you, Jesus. And I'm going to tell you one thing. My stuff is coming out of storage. It's got to come out of storage. It's been buried too long, and it will make a massive difference. And I'm going to share that journey. The moment I take it out, and you're thinking, where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put it? And that's the challenge. I mean, it could fit in the lower floor here. And I'm going around. I'm in Umbria. I'm in Todi, which I love. I've been to Assisi, Spoleto, Spello, Perugia. So I'm going around, driving around. What a beautiful luxury position I am. And walking through thinking, do I see myself here? I have 2 teenager girls. Or do I see myself in a villa in a countryside? Now, I did find one long term, but, they want me to move out. They want me to move in next month and then move out in August. These are the challenges of Italy. You want me to move in with my stuff, but I've got to move out for a month. So where's all my stuff? So the Italian family can enjoy their Ferragosto or their summer August. What happens to my stuff? What happens to the legality of all this? They could just run off with my stuff. They could lock me out of that villa and I could never return to my stuff. Don't ever compromise with the Italians. They having a laugh. Or with anyone. I said, I'll take the property as of next month and I ain't moving out. So they don't want to do that. That's fine. Not meant to be. Don't recognise when you need to kick a door down and when you don't. So I'm burning off. Don't bury your gold. Don't bury your dreams. Don't bury your talents. And get using your hands. Touch wood. Touch plants. Smell rosemary, lavender, wherever you are. Connect. We are made from dust and we will head back there. Now my friend buried her gold for 2 years, which defined her. Don't bury the thing that defines you. So I have buried all my fashion, all my jewellery and all my shoes and all my artisan's dreams. It's been in storage for 4 years. Not all of it, but when I do connect with it, I'd love it. So it's got to come out this year. I've promised my daughters as well. It's coming out. And I'm going to tell you, because it's all in boxes, we're going to have a burn fire boxing festival or party. That's why I'm burning this more. Goodbye the old Italy. Goodbye the people that ripped me off in Italy. Goodbye the people that spoke I'll never find my Italian dream. Goodbye the people that said it's impossible. Goodbye the naysayers. That's why I'm burning this morning. I grew up with wood and fire. I understand the power of it. I understand the power of a house fire because in 2012 I lost everything due to a house fire. Cheeky fridge in the middle of the night kicked it all off. I understand, and it's been twice in my life, and even growing up, what it means to have nothing. And I'm not afraid of that. There's power in that as well. This is not what I'm talking about. My fashion, my clothes, my jewellery, my artisans are all in that storage and it's got to come out. You know why it's got to come out? Because some will be sold, will be given away. It's a new journey and some will be like a Picasso art piece, memories. And I'm in the land of everything made Italy. Well, sort of. Check out on my blog, Made in Italy. You'll see the passion, the palazzos, the shoes, the clothes. The Made in Italy has been destroyed, but it's still there. And you've got to understand how to find it. Thank you very much. It's a Sunday morning and I'm going to make coffee and all that history, all that bad energy, all those words spoken over me, especially in recent months. Even I nearly died in Lucca because I had a horrible property where I was sleeping and in the walls the sewage was coming into my lungs. Goodbye the past. Goodbye Tuscany. Yes, I went. Is there a difference between Tuscany and Umbria? I'm going to write about it. There is a massive difference from even the way people treat you. Yes, and also, I'm in Umbria. I rarely see dog walking. I went back to Arezzo, Tuscany last week. Lucca, it's a dog fest. It's just horrendous. Venice too, Rome. Italians love their dogs. They love their sausage dogs. Oh, look what happened there when I said dogs. So I'm loving Umbria because it's not as rich as Tuscany. I can see that, which I love. It's a lot more authentic Italian, which I love. Well, Assisi's rich. Don't get me wrong on that. You need to go to Assisi. But they're not so dog obsessed, which I love. Bye-bye, beautiful people.